Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's Pyromancer here, and today, this is insane. I've been literally thinking about this the last couple days, and I think out of everything that I've said, out of all the different theories that we have seen, if you've watched the video on the Yogg-Saron potentially being in the sky of Deepholm, or even another old god, you should be fine in what I say in this video. However, I only mean that in the sense of you should be fine, as you'll understand what I mean at certain parts. Now, in this video, I'm going to talk to you guys about a lot of different things. It is pretty in-depth. There's 47 bullet points to this video. So if you want to know all of it, you got to stay till the end. And I just want to throw this out there that this is 100% speculation backed up by an overwhelming amount of evidence to support the idea. Again, this will be heavily based on the Whispers of Il'gynoth, but this time I really broke it down and thought, as far as character development goes, what characters would make more sense for the scenarios that we're talking about? What are other people saying? We had a lot of talk about Raytheon, and you guys, I think that we're going to have some pretty crazy news today. I think you guys are going to be pretty blown away by this. Now, one of the things that you need to know before starting this video is that there's going to be huge spoilers, like I said, massive. And I'm talking from the start of WoW's existence, back what happened when the Titans and the Old Gods were very first created from the light and the void. We're starting there and literally coming all the way to here. What is happening to us right now has been set in motion and was planned so long ago. In my video where I say in the title it's been in front of us for 6 years, I think it's been in front of us for a lot longer than that. And it's all leading to the climax and downfall of the Burning Legion. But it's going to unlock something way, way worse. So, when you watch this next part, it is going to be cut and edited a little differently. I'm going to go through a lot of bullet points. I'm going to be putting some images on the screen that relate to what I'm saying. And I'm going to be trying as well as I can to explain everything in detail and in a manner that you guys can understand. All of the stuff that I'm about to say in this video has either been looked up on Wowpedia, WowWiki, although I tend to trust Wowpedia a little bit better, reading into the lore and story backgrounds, watching the comic, kind of motion comics that they released, and none of this is just randomly thrown in there, kind of like what I'm saying with Moira. This is much better, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the explanation. I am talking to someone while doing this. I felt that that was a better way to do it because I was explaining, I was excited, and I really hope you guys can feel the excitement in this video, and I really want to know what you guys think. So hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed what you're about to hear, and I'll talk to you guys again at the end of the video. So the Titans are awoken and begin traveling across the universe, exterminating the Void presence. Sargeras finds a planet so engrossed in Void that he destroys it, killing the Titan within it. The Pantheon doesn't like this and tells him it's unacceptable. In fear, Sargeras imbues himself with the power of Fel obtained from Mardum, demons that he had imprisoned there. Sargeras destroys the Titan Pantheon. But the Titan Organon saves fragments of the Pantheon, but they end up in Antorus, later, Antorus the Burning Throne. Sargeras continues through the cosmos, destroying worlds, and ends up coming across Argus. Within it, he locates a Titan with the power to create an unlimited army. He harnesses the power necessary to destroy any void force that he can come across, and recruits Kil'jaeden and Archimonde into his ranks among the Nathrezim and Succubus, which are a separate point. He takes over the planet by dismantling the Draenei's upper ranks, and in the War of the Ancients begins, later on, this is a little bit separate, and the Well of Eternity is sealed off by Illidan, the Chosen One, with the Dragon Soul, while unknowingly preventing the Old Gods from entering our realm as well. This is a problem for the Old Gods at this point, the ones that are trapped within Azeroth, as way back in the day, the Titans sealed the Old Gods off within Azeroth, as we know. Yogg-Saron was imprisoned within Ulduar, Cthulhu was hiding in Ahn'Qiraj, so we know about that already. The Earth Warder, now Deathwing, listens into the depths of Azeroth and hears the whispers of the Old Gods. It becomes corrupted and leads to the Black Dragon Flight, who worked closely with the Old Gods after the brood became fully corrupted. While this happens, Raytheon's uncorrupted egg is stolen away and tested by Rheastraza, a member of the Red Dragonflight who deems it acceptable. She states that it is allegedly uncorrupted, from what she can tell. Deathwing finds the egg and destroys it. However, it was not Raytheon's egg, but rather one of Rhea's own brood. Raytheon, with his lineage from corrupted Deathwing in conjunction with the experiments upon him, transformed him into something more powerful than we know. Sargeras uses his power alongside the Dreadlords and Archimonde and Kil'jaeden to conduct the Sundering and the Plagues with the Lich King. We are dispatched to Ulduar to cleanse the Keepers who became corrupted by Yogg-Saron and defeat the manifestation of Yogg-Saron. But Yogg is likely not actually dead. The puzzle box of Yogg-Saron heavily hints toward N'Zoth, meaning they may have been in contact with one another at the time when Yogg-Saron was imprisoned within Ulduar. After being found in Deepholm and repairing his armor, we're taking a little bit of a jump here, Deathwing bursts out of the Maelstrom and in doing so destroys the outer shell, allowing us to see outward. It is here that the Circle of Stars shows us an old god seemingly manifesting or consuming what may be the Titan soul of Azeroth. References to Whispers of Il'gynoth. To find him, drown yourself in the Circle of Shadows. Or Circle of Stars, rather. We know about that, if you watched the other video especially. With the ending of Cataclysm, the old site of the Well of Eternity was destroyed and the Maelstrom lay in its wake, creating what may be a new portal through the deepest depths of Azeroth's oceans, leading to the broken, open Deepholm ceiling. The Maelstrom connects the elemental planes where the Titans sealed off the elementals, but how do we know the old gods weren't imprisoned in a similar fashion? Maybe it is a realm in which they are stuck, similarly to Sargeras. So, Magni Bronzebeard in Ulduar, in an attempt to save his people from the old gods, communed with the Titan tablets within Ulduar and was turned into Diamond. The King of Diamonds has been made a pawn. He was stuck there for years, and was not awoken until he was magically snapped out of his state by hearing his daughter's voice. Magni was in Ulduar for quite a long time before he was awoken. When you, Bran Bronzebeard, and Khadgar go to meet Magni later on, you are confronted by several faceless echoes, and an unknown voice whispers to you, you are a pawn of forces unseen. Now, if it was an unknown voice, perhaps it could be N'Zoth. I would think so. Moreover, Yogg-Saron, because Yogg has been there before. But because it's an unknown voice, you think perhaps you would maybe recognize Yogg's voice. But maybe that's too much of a dead giveaway, so they kept it to an unknown voice. Anyway, upon meeting Magni, he tells us that he can suddenly understand Azeroth when she speaks, and we need to hurry. Without question, Khadgar, Bran Bronzebeard, and the Champion follow Magni, and he reveals to us that we need to collect the 5 Pillars of Creation. Azeroth told him this. The 5 pillars were bestowed upon the 5 keepers, one of which, Loken the son of Odin, was corrupted by Yogg-Saron, leading to the failure at Ulduar. Remember this later. It is also revealed that the knowledge of these pillars was bestowed upon the guardian of Tirisfal, none other than Medivh. Ironically, we have Khadgar, his apprentice, with us at the time, and he knows just where to find this book. Karazhan. The Legion was here also, trying to obtain the same information to free Sargeras with the 5 pillars. Once we have obtained this information, we start the conquest in the Broken Isles. We'll come back to this. We're going to jump back in time for a second. Back to Mists of Pandaria. With Deathwing dead, the old gods had their portal, the Maelstrom, back into Azeroth. They just needed to tie up some loose ends, Sargeras and the Pantheon. How is this done? In Pandaria, Raytheon shows up and convinces both factions to wage war against each other, strengthening and awakening the remnants, or Shah, of Yasharjan, leading Garrosh to succumb to his corruption. Now, this had started before Raytheon showed up, but he definitely exacerbated the issue by convincing us to assaulting each other in the Krasnarang Wilds. This only enraged the elements of Yasharj scattered throughout the land, and it led, Garrosh to succumb to the corruption of Yasharj. Raytheon also obtains the Heart of the Thunder King, bestowing upon him titanic powers. Raytheon then sets Garrosh free after he is defeated and imprisoned, and Raytheon ends up befriending Anduin. Raytheon lied to us. He is not the last remaining member of the Black Dragonflight, as we do find out later on in High Mountain one exists as well. He is not uncorrupted, and perhaps we await the final lie. Feel free to speculate on what the lies are. I mean, there's many different ways you can take that, whatever he's already lied about or what he may lie about. And there's actually a piece of dialogue where Anduin says that he doesn't trust Raytheon in Mists of Pandaria, And Raytheon says, "You were wise not to." This ties directly to the whispers of Il'gynoth. The boy king serves at the master's table. Although little is known of Raytheon, his self-proclaimed title as Black Prince is exactly what Il'gynoth is referring to. He is the boy king meaning prince, as we know most sons of kings are referred to. It's not a literal statement, it's a play on words. And Raytheon is corrupted and is working for the old gods, as he was corrupted through his lineage and bloodline to Deathwing. Garrosh goes back in time and introduces us to Gul'dan, who had a plan to use Illidan as a vessel for Sargeras to come back because Illidan is the chosen one, in a couple different ways. We are immediately halted in the introduction to Legion with the Emerald Nightmare. But why? Because the Emerald Nightmare was spawned after the old gods, believed to be Yogg-Saron specifically, planted a corrupted seed in the Emerald Dream. After cleansing the Nightmare, we are drawn to the Halls of Valor to free Odin, who was jailed by Helya at the order of the old gods. There is lore that states this was the intent of the old gods so that Yogg-Saron could wreak havoc within Ulduar, and Odin, father of Loken, could not come back and stop what was happening. He would have kept too close an eye on Loken. He would have seen what was happening. After defeating Helya, Odin says he will return to Ulduar. Again, the Lord of Ravens will turn the key. Odin can take form of a raven, and in actual mythology, Odin is said to possess the power to command ravens. We confront Gul'dan, stop him, and cleanse Illidan, making him our ally. Alongside Illidan, we team up to take on the Legion at the Broken Shore, all the while Odin is gone. We chase Kil'jaeden through his portal at the end, and after defeating him, Illidan uses his keystone to teleport us back to Azeroth, but brings Argus with us. Magni is hearing Azeroth again, all of a sudden. We journey with him to Northrend to enter an old Titan facility where Magni can hear her clearly. While there, we see false apparitions of void tentacles and a few succubus. Remember, they're only succubus, except the last demon that comes up. Our heart is a crater, and we have filled it. Remember this quote because we'll come back to it. Magni says Sargeras after listening, in quotations here, I'm doing air quotes, listening to Azeroth, and says we must go to Argus. It's the only way to save her, even though the majority of her fears were old god related. The tentacles. We travel to Argus and learn how Kil'jaeden and Archimonde were corrupted, and within Antorus, the Burning Throne, we find Sargeras' corrupted titans, as well as a new titan and conduit to Sargeras' infinite demon army, Argus. We travel through the instance, cleansing these titans to come across 4 Shavara, tormenting titan souls of aman'thul, Norgannon, Khaz'goroth, and Agramar. Well, I guess it wouldn't be Agramar anymore, it would be, they were trying to do Aenar, maybe Iminar, whatever. Aenar is the only one that has not been affected too far at this point. And I believe what we're seeing with the Coven of the Shavara is why in Azeroth's Terrors we saw the Shavara. Only the Shavara. Except that last demon. After defeating Agramar, we're transported to the seat of the Pantheon, far from Azeroth, to destroy Argus. At the end, we will see Sargeras form fully in attempt to siphon from Azeroth. Illidan's binding of Sargeras... I'm almost done. Which we've seen revealed in spoiler dialogue. We will see Sargeras form fully in attempt to siphon from Azeroth. Illidan's binding of Sargeras, which you've seen it, like I said, revealed in spoiler dialogue, will pull Sargeras toward the seat of the Pantheon, and in a last-ditch attempt to destroy everything, he will throw his sword at Azeroth and impale it, leading to the gigantic hole that we see in Silithus. Magni says in the motion cinematic that was released before Legion that he sees a Fellfire spear ripping through Azeroth. This is what he saw. It was planned by the old gods. Don't you see it? It has been planned the entire time. Raytheon was planted by the old gods to take us back in time to release Illidan, the Chosen One. Magni is corrupted by the old gods and took us to Argus in the seat of the Pantheon in order to bind Sargeras there once he had returned. Now with Argus destroyed, the key to Sargeras' burning legion, and Sargeras bound to the seat of the Pantheon with the other titans, there's nothing stopping the old gods from returning. Xal'atath talks about it the entire expansion, N'Zoth will return. Il'gynoth whispers to N'Zoth as he dies, and since Illidan stopped the old gods in the War of the Ancients, there's been a very in-depth plan set out to defeat Sargeras and allow the return of the old gods. Magni baited us into it after being corrupted while in Ulduar. It was literally all just a setup. The only unanswered questions that go towards the Whispers of Il'gynoth and the Varimathras quotes are this. What is the third life from Raytheon, and what will he do with the Titan power that he now possesses? And the quotes from Varimathras. When it comes to Varimathras, I honestly believe our speculation about Jaina and Sylvanas are correct. Jaina and Sylvanas, rather. But I recognize that Varimathras says it matters not because we are blind to the real shadow closing in on us. He's referring to the plot of the old gods. He's just been tortured mercilessly and honestly doesn't care at this point what happens to us or him or anyone else. He'll just be happy to watch us all die. And keep in mind that Raytheon is allegedly the only non-corrupted black dragonflight that exists according to him. Who's to say that the uncorrupted black dragonflight egg that was actually taken was not hatched into one of these other black dragons that we found to exist, and Raytheon wasn't a planted egg? Raytheon goes around killing all of the other black dragons. Why? To stay away from his father's legacy, or to cover it up so that no one would know that he was actually a corrupted member of the black dragonflight. So, it's pretty crazy. It's a pretty in-depth explanation. It's broken down and generalized in certain parts quite a lot. And there may be errors just in typing. I did have to type the whole thing up, and you can see it as I go through it. But I think it's pretty solid, and it matches a lot more of what other people are saying. I think overall, it makes a lot more sense than the other theory with Mara Thurasane. And I'm literally just blown away. I mean, this is something that I've devised and come up with in a couple days. This is something I'm new to, and I really want to know your guys' opinion on it. So let me know what you think. If you like this video, if you love this kind of lore talk, make sure you thumbs up this video, because I've always been a Warlock content creator, and getting into lore is something that I'm very excited about and very happy to be able to share with you guys. So make sure you share the love. Make sure you subscribe to this type of content. If you do like this type of content, be sure to hit that subscribe button and get those notifications on there. And most importantly, like I said, leave a comment. I want to know what you guys think. I want to know what you think about this theory. Does it match what you've been thinking? Is there anything that's maybe left out that doesn't make sense? And I'd like to have some addressing on those unanswered questions. I mean, I kind of want to know what you guys think about that. Maybe it's not actually related as much as we think it is. Or maybe the Myra plant still is a thing, and all the things that I said about the thrones could still make sense in that aspect. But I want to thank you guys very much for watching this. I know it was quite a long video. Things are going to get crazy. But until next time, I'll see you guys. Peace!